Sustainability is not complicated. Hi, I'm Tony Redman, and welcome to the Advocate for Change, a platform for discussing and sharing solutions on the issues that affect human well being. Today, I will share with you 5 basic principles for creating a culture of sustainability. I'll be using the family home as an analogy to provide context and perspective on these principles. Think of the earth as our family home, and we will look at the 5 basic principles we apply to manage our households. Then we will scale these principles up to a global level to look at the gaps. This diagram illustrates the 5 levels of social interaction, beginning with the family and escalating up to a global or universal level. These levels of social interaction also reflect our levels of social responsibility. So let's look at the principles we use to maintain an efficient and effective household and how we maintain or deviate from these principles as our levels of responsibility scale up on the social interactive model. I assure you, if we can maintain these 5 principles throughout the levels of social responsibility, sustainability would be a non-issue because it would be a way of life. The first 2 principles have to do with our mindset and values with respect to sustainability. The number 1 principle is truth. Looking at the principle of truth from a household management perspective should be very easy for us to understand. The first thing we teach our children to do is to tell the truth. We know that we can't make any good decisions or help them with their issues if they don't tell us the truth. And we know that if mommy and daddy are lying to each other constantly, the family is eventually going to fall apart. We can't make good decisions on sustainability by denying or ignoring the facts. For those of you who can't accept the overwhelming scientific and academic information that's available, I urge you to apply a simple dispute resolution concept called the balance of probabilities. In a sports analysis, we would call that the eye test. If you can't see that something is wrong at this point, then you're keeping your eyes closed. The information is available if you really want to know. There are 3 primary reasons people ignore or deny the truth: greed, shame, or fear. Denial and apathy are no longer an option. We must understand the truth, accept the truth, and tell the truth. Once we do those things, addressing sustainability becomes much easier. Accepting the truth empowers us to apply the next principle: change. Accept the fact that things must change. Once we've accepted the truth and we know the dire situation that we are really in, we will be forced to accept the fact that we have to change. Change will affect each of us as individuals, as companies, and as countries differently. We need to identify the specific changes we need to make, take responsibility for those changes, and implement those changes. We accept change in our family life all the time, and most of the time those changes come with costs and sacrifices, and we make those changes voluntarily. The mayor or the prime minister doesn't have to come and tell us that we need to skip a family vacation in order to save for our daughter's wedding. They don't have to tell us that we have to skip on the second car in order to save for our son's tuition. We do those things because we care, because we know it's the right thing to do. So why do we have to be dragged kicking and screaming to implement changes that are required to save our planet, to save our home? We must accept the truth, 1, and we must be prepared to make the necessary changes, 2. The next 3 principles have to do with how we run the house. These things are related to what is called the ESG Framework. ESG stands for Environment, Social, and Governance. On some charts, it's referred to Environment, Social, and Economics. In either case, these are the 3 sectors from which Sustainability goals are measured and assessed, which brings us to our third principle. The third principle is clean the house. Cleanliness is next to godliness. This is a term that most of us grew up with. One of the first lessons we learn as a child is the importance of cleanliness as part of home maintenance. We have learned that it's important to keep all areas of the house clean, our room, the common areas, and the yard. If we fail to do so, filth and garbage piles up. The house becomes unlivable and, more importantly, unsellable. And one filthy house can lower the property value of neighborhood homes. So, on a family and neighborhood level, we generally hold each other accountable for environmental cleanliness. If we applied that same mindset and level of accountability on a global level, climate change would not be a problem. We must keep our houses, our businesses, and our cities clean and scale that mindset up to a global level. Number 4, fairness. The social component of the ESG framework has to do with social justice and fair treatment. We treat each other fairly in the home, or at least I would hope so. It's all about equal opportunity and access, merit, and equal justice under the law. Does a functional family mistreat the kids or show favoritism? Would a good parent punish one child for something another child did? How long would that family stay together? We have laws that prevent us from abusing our children. Now let's look at the principle of fairness on a national or global level. Ask yourself, are all the children on the earth treated fairly and equally? We all expect fairness and justice for our own children, but turn a blind eye when abusive and oppressive behaviors are applied on a global level every day. Achieving global sustainability requires global collaboration and cooperation. And that can never happen if exploitation and discriminatory practices is common in our governance systems. The last principle is the most important because it's the biggest change most of us have to make. Take your share. This principle is all about resource management and distribution, and it would fall under the governance or economics sector of the ESG. If mom cooks a pot of food to feed a family of 6 and leaves it on the stove, then one son gets home early and helps himself to 2 servings. Then dad comes home and figures he works hard and brings in the money, so he helps himself to 3 portions. Mom sees what's happening and serves herself a portion before it's all gone. We now have 1 serving left for the 3 children that are outside playing. When they come home, they either share the pittance that's left over, or fight for it, or go steal some food from a neighbor. Poverty, violence, and crime are the result of greed and exploitation practices. And the first truth that we must accept is that our current economic model is based on greed and exploitation. And if that doesn't change, we will never be able to achieve sustainability. This is a change that is easily achievable with our current knowledge and technology, but we would have to give up greed. There's only so much food on the planet, and as long as daddy wants to eat 3 portions when he only needs 1, the kids will continue to starve. To put that in context, the 3 kids left outside playing is the next generation of human beings. And when they are born, they will have to share the pittance that we are leaving for them. If we can effectively and efficiently manage the resources of the planet, they won't have to starve. But if we stick to this ridiculous idea of perpetual growth on a finite planet, a model that we know is mathematically, rationally, and morally flawed, then we are condemning the next generation to starvation and suffering. Daddy and mommy must agree on a sustainable and fair approach to efficient resource management, not this eat as much as you can model that we currently operate from. We have to let go of decisions based on greed, shame, or fear, and adopt a mindset of caring, sharing, and fairness. If we can adopt that mindset and scale those principles up to a global level, all will be well on earth. Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. I hope you found this information beneficial. Please visit our sister site, advocateforchange.com. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help us to advance this agenda. Our children are depending on it.